it's Kina Knisley with Team K Squared of Keller Williams, and this is Real Talk about Real Estate. Today I have Vicky Leos from Destin, Florida with me. I'm so excited because look at that beach. And I live in Hawaii. I still get excited about that beach. So Vicky, thank you so much for being with us. So how
Thank you
is
for having me.
everything in Destin?
Everything in Destin is beautiful and great. The weather is fabulous, but the market, so. That's a different story. So but,
It's slowing down a little bit here. We're working twice as hard for half the business. Some days 3 times as hard for half the business. So
right.
what are you guys seeing? Are you seeing like more days on market, more inventory?
Yes, both. Days on market has significantly increased. And then, of course, the inventory grows and grows and grows. We have, I don't know, a little maybe too much detail. We have 3 MLSs that cover our entire panhandle.
Really?
One of them is PAR MLS, which is Pensacola area mainly. It overlaps with ECAR, which is the Emerald Coast Association of Realtors. And that one goes all the way to the central part of the Panhandle, but there's also another one there for Panama City Beach and so forth. It's called Sea Park MLS. So there's 3 MLSs, and combined we have over 15,000 listings right now.
Oh my goodness. I thought
Yeah, and we're only 150 miles at most, lengthwise across the Panhandle, and most of the Panhandle is just land up north, the coastline. I'm talking the market along the coast, which is where you have most of the homes and the towns, the villages, everything. We're talking 15,000 listings. That's
so.
pretty
What
intense.
is your average price point?
It depends. It depends what area you're in. I would say if you're closer to Pensacola, I don't dive into Pensacola market. It's a whole nother monster, and I don't claim to be the expert there. But coming out of Pensacola, going eastward towards Panama City, in Navarre Beach, not the beach area, but the Navarre, the primary home market, you're probably on average in the 450s, maybe 500s, low 500s, somewhere in there. Moving towards Fort Walton Beach, you're looking more at the low 400s.
That's more inland, right? I'm trying to remember.
Well, Fort Walton Beach has its beach area too, but the beach area there has mostly condos, so there's no homes per se in Fort Walton Beach. There are homes inland in the Bay Area, and in the I want to call it swampy area, but it's not really swampy anymore. Anyway, in that area has primary homes, but there's no real beach homes per se in Fort Walton Beach. Then that you keep going east, you go into Destin, and anything south, there's this one highway that goes all the way from, I don't know, somewhere in Louisiana, probably all the way down to Apalachicola and Mexico Beach, past Panama City. Anything south of Highway 98, pretty much you consider mostly second home market, where you have a lot of resorts, a lot of condominiums, a lot of beach homes, with some residential only areas. And so if you're in Destin, the price points are significantly higher. We're looking more at 600s to reside. When you're looking at condos, it varies depending on the proximity to the beach, whether it has a view or not. So you could find a condo anywhere from probably a studio in the 300s, all the way to, of course, well over $1 million for a beachfront. Some beachfronts are 600, 800, 700, depends on the building, the area. And as you go to Panama City, the most expensive area is called Santa Rosa Beach, or 30A. A lot of people know it as 30A. That's probably where you're going to find the most expensive homes, and of course condos, because it caters primarily to higher end clientele, but it also has what do you call it? The rentals are very high there too. So that whole area is just our high end, our highest end in our panhandle. And then you run into Panama City Beach where the prices start to drop again. So it just depends where you're at. If you go north of Destin, for example, into Niceville, Niceville is one of the areas where the military, a lot of military love it there because we have the we're in the we have the best schools in the state of Florida are in Niceville.
Wow.
Even our private schools, we have one private school that is more like a prep school, but they start from kindergarten all the way through high school. And I think they're ranked like in the top 100 of the nation.
Oh,
So
wow. I
so
didn't know that.
we're yes. So we have some so schooling keeps the demand of Niceville pretty high. So the primary homes here are definitely more like in the 500s if you want to get a decent anything decent, you're going to be in the 500s.
Wow. Oh, so you
400s, you're
get a
going to
lot
start
of,
getting older.
yeah,
Huh?
you get a lot of military coming there because they're at
Yes,
command and
yes. We have 7 military installations all the way from Pensacola Naval Air Station all the way to Tyndall Air Force Base in Panama City. So across, we're what, 120 miles or something like that. We have 7 military installations. So our military footprint is huge. That's why I was saying the panhandle is huge, but most of it is land, and a lot of that land is owned by the government for the military installations. So it's a very unique layout here in the Panhandle.
wow.
And of
Now,
course
what
that
about
draws
investing? Is it a good place for someone to come?
empty nesters. There is
No,
quite a bit.
investing. Like, if they want to pick up a short-term rental or just maybe a long-term rental, is it a good place for investors to come pick
Oh
up?
God, oh, investing. Sorry, I thought I was hearing nesting and I was like empty nesters. I don't know.
No,
Sorry,
just wish we
my
were
bad.
investors.
Investors love our area because like I said, anything south of Highway 98 for the most part is going to be vacation rentals, resorts with all these opportunities for investors. And yes, and then long-term rentals
Yeah.
because of the huge military footprint, those that don't buy rent. And so long-term rentals, I have 5 properties here in Niceville alone.
Wow.
So I mean, they're good. The rentals are great in terms of long-term and short-term. Short-term rentals along the beach, you can't complain. But right now it's a buyer's market. Unfortunately, the condos have taken big hits in the last couple years. The inventory has grown tremendously. I had some numbers here. ECAR, which is what I said was the Emerald Coast Association of Realtors. They cover all the way from Pensacola to pretty much Mexico Beach area. We had 6,800 listings in that MLS. Of those, 2,027 are condos alone,
Oh,
which
wow.
is
Are
a
you guys
lot.
seeing the insurance? Is that what the issue is? The increase in
There's a lot of issues. In 2022, we had the collapse of the Seaside condominium in Miami, which generated a whole new set of legislation rules and whatever, new legislation with respect to condos and their HOAs, which generated inspections, mandatory inspections that had to be done by the end of last year. And now every year, any building that's over 25 years old and within half a mile of the water, which is everything south of 98, has to have this milestone inspection. And that milestone inspection doesn't only look at the physical aspects of the building, they're also looking at the HOA's reserves. If they don't have enough money in reserve, they have to generate, they're mandated to generate an assessment to fill the reserve to be able to have the money in the HOA should the roof go bad, the electrical, the water, what do you call it? The water system, the fire systems, the plumbing goes bad, or whatever it is. There's 8 categories that they have in that legislation. And so they mandate the HOAs to, and so there's huge assessments everywhere. And so of course, when you're trying to sell a property, if the first question that comes up is, what are my HOA fees? well, here's your HOA fees, and they're going up because of insurance, right? Because the HOA covers the building insurance. And then on top of that, now we have this milestone inspection that has messed us up, that
Yeah.
has added additional. So moving condos has become a double, triple challenge. It's amazing.
Yeah, we're
And the only,
seeing that
yeah,
here. It's just the insurance premiums are doubling, quadrupling, definitely,
right.
some are tripling. It's just gotten, and then I always tell my buyers every $100 is about $20,000 of your buying power. It's about 14,000 in some, but 20 is easier to calculate in
Right,
my head. Um,
right,
I mean, that takes their buying power. If you have
right.
$500 a month maintenance, is $100 of your buying power gone, right?
And
And
then rentals went down. So on top of all that, last year, 23, the rentals went down a little bit. I think, I don't know what it was in 24. 20, was it 23? No, it was in 23, the world opened up and so from COVID. And
yeah,
so people started to travel. And so all these people that were coming here that didn't have to go or couldn't go somewhere else were coming here. So our rentals were huge in 21 and 20 and 22. And in 23, they started to take a nosedive. Well, in 24, that trend continued. I think more about the economy and people being affordability of coming here. And so the rentals dropped. So now you have increased assessments, increased insurance, and decreased revenues is not very appealing. So all our investors are kind of like, let's wait and see. Give the
yeah, we
market
have
its time to
a
come
big wait
back.
and see attitude here too. Even with our military coming in,
Oh
just
yeah, in the
um,
military, same, we're having the same issue. And
yeah,
so I would say of all the military people that I have serviced here in this year, I would say, yeah, more than in the last 12 months at least. Most of them have ended up buying new homes because the new builders offer great incentives. They have the opportunity to offer lower interest rates or loans with lower interest rates to our VA members. They close with $1 to come to closing with $1. Plus they have the VA zero down.
yeah,
So it makes it so feasible for them. And of course, it's a 30-year loan. Well, our resales, people are moving, PCSing, we can't sell their homes unless we drastically take cuts
I
into
couldn't
their
think with any else.
yeah. So now that generates more inventory also in rentals because a lot of people are saying, no, I can't afford that loss. Let me rent. Okay, but now we have more. So is the demand there? It's not. So there's not a big demand right now for purchasing homes. And we're seeing probably an increase in rentals. And so more people are, as they sit on the market for over 180 days, they finally just give up and say, let me rent and hopefully in a year or two things will be better and they have
Yeah,
options. Yeah.
that's we're slow here. The payments with the interest rates just aren't matching the BAH. It's just
Yeah.
not. And you don't ever
Right.
want to get a soldier into trouble by selling them something that's over their BAH.
Over their BAH.
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
just that's not fair to them. So,
Right. Because then they end up in short
short sales.
sales.
Yeah, we are
Yeah.
starting to see short sales now, and unfortunately, some of those are the VA buyers who can't afford to hold it to rent it out because the
I'm
rents
what
now,
yeah.
right?
I'm one of those agents. I won't let you go to your maximum, especially our younger airmen. I encourage them and I tell them you don't want to be house poor. We've all been there.
Yeah,
I'm retired military. I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. They didn't pay us, we didn't join the military to become
no.
wealthy. So for one. But I learned some hard lessons with that because I maxed out my BA. Oh, I can make the payment just with my BAH. Well, your BAH is for your expenses,
Yeah, it's
it's not, it's your
utility.
housing and your utilities and
Now,
and
we
maintaining a
get
house, right?
COLA here. Our soldiers do get
Oh,
COLA.
yeah, we don't have that.
Which I will tell you, they did increase the BAH rate between 12 and 19%, and then they cut COLA in half. So
Well, there you go. So what did they do?
it
They
was
didn't
like
solve anything.
your
So
housing
yeah,
allowance went up and your
right,
COLA went down. So you're basically about the
right,
same. Yeah, it was kind of like,
right.
really? You,
Yeah.
you
So
don't
yeah.
know.
So I tell them, look at your BAH and let's stay well within your BAH to cover
Yeah.
your utilities. Because what you don't want to do, and then you don't want to buy a house so big that the yard's so big that all you can do on weekends is maintain the yard.
Yeah.
There's a
You
lot of
want to be able to go
maintenance on
enjoy
homes.
Destin and
Go enjoy the beaches. How would you enjoy them if you have to spend your weekends maintaining the house? So I'm very mother henish, if you will.
yeah, me
Sometimes
too.
when it yeah, and I'd give a I love working with VA. I'm a luxury agent, but I love working with the VA because I know what it was like when I was
Yeah.
young and I didn't know. And we had, oh yeah, we got the BAH. Oh, I get this, I get that. But you know what? Let's make smart decisions like investors do.
Yeah,
And
and I always tell them just because the lender gives you that much, if you're
doesn't
not
mean you can
money
afford
back,
it.
you don't have to spend it all. You don't have to spend
Life,
everything the lender gives you, right?
right? Life happens, right? Life happens. And then suddenly you're here in Destin and you want to buy a boat or you want to, you know what I'm saying? You can't afford it. You
Yeah.
can't get it. You want to go jet skiing every weekend or you want to go fishing or whatever. You can't afford the cost because you're maxed out on what you're making with your BAH. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, so
Yeah, that's how
it's a
I'm
challenge.
so protective. I always tell them,
Yeah,
I
I am
let
too.
you buy anything I wouldn't let one of my children buy. So,
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly. Yeah, we can't tell people, we're not allowed as realtors, obviously, as you know, to what do you call them?
steer. Yeah,
Scare people.
no steering,
But
but
they asked me my opinion. I said, well, if you were my daughter, I would say I
yeah,
wouldn't live there, but
I know. If you were my
I don't
child,
know
you
how to
wouldn't
get
buy this
around
house.
that without getting in
Yes.
trouble. I just kind of look at them and say, well, let's take a look, see how comfortable you look with this area or whatever.
Yeah. So now what kind of fun things are there to do
Oh my
in the
gosh.
area? I mean, you know, you guys have the beach. I was
Right.
lucky enough, I've been there a few times because my daughter,
Right.
that was their
Right.
duty station.
Right.
Uh,
So I always say that we don't have a Emerald Coast lifestyle. There is no single lifestyle. There's lifestyles here. There's so much to do besides going to the beach, and of course you're going to have all those outdoor activities tied with the deep water, right? You have fishing. We have some of the best fishing, by the way. We guarantee actually the charter boats here will guarantee that you will catch fish.
wow.
That's yeah, or your money back. You know why? Because we're the best fishing spot in at least continental America. I'm not going to go with Hawaii. I can't say I don't know their
Yeah, they
stats
don't
there.
guarantee you catch fish here. You pay
Oh,
big
we
to go
do.
out on
We
those
do.
boats and sometimes you catch
We
fish.
absolutely do. And you ask these professional fishermen and everything. Oh, they know. It's Key West and Destin are the two best places to go fishing. And we're not talking little fish. We're talking big fish. We're talking marlin. We're talking,
Wow.
all that cool stuff. So fishing is a big deal. Of course, anything that has to do with beach boating. A lot of people own boats here. There's sailing as well in the bay primarily. There's regattas. We have regattas in there. Of course, it's a big, the weather here is not tropical year round. We do have 4 seasons. We had 8 inches of snow in January. So
Oh,
you
wow.
want to make, yeah, so there you go. You want to ski? We had 8 inches, but that's the first in like 100 years or something crazy. Anyway, but it does get kind of cool in the winter. But the other activities are mostly outdoor activities. Of course, we have caves, we have trails, we have a ton of state parks here that have gazillion trails for people to go hiking. Uh, Kayaking is a big thing. We have a lot of what do you call these intercoastal lakes that are between the beach and the inland or whatever. There's these dunes or whatever, and they call them intercoastal lakes, but a lot of kayaking as well. So again, a lot of water activities. Of course, golf. There's tons of golf. So you have a very relaxed, for the most part. There's a lot of land north of I-10, north of all these little villages down here, all these towns and counties down by the water. When you go north, it's just land and land and land. So there's a lot to explore. There's forests. I mean, we have that diversity, right? We have
Yeah.
the forests, we have caves, we have springs, um, we have trying to think what else. The trails, the state parks. So a lot of outdoor stuff and very coastal, relaxed. lifestyle. A lot of agricultural too. We have a lot of people have chicken coops in
Oh,
their
well, well, you need
backyard.
to at the
Yeah.
price of eggs.
Yeah, at the price of eggs, right? So, the Panhandle is always been pretty much rural, more than,
Yeah.
a sophisticated Miami or something like. No, we're more just small towns, and it's a very close knit communities. I think every community is very close knit. The Navarre community, for example, Navarre is I would say 99% all military or military retirees or something. They're all affiliated, but they have their high schools and but they're close knit. It's a community, and the same goes with Niceville. Niceville is very close knit. Crestview the same way. You
Yeah.
go to Santa Rosa, same thing. You find this, but it's a very relaxed lifestyle.
Yeah.
We have very few police departments. I believe Niceville has one. We have a police department, but I think we have two vehicles.
Oh,
Yeah. Fort Walton Beach has a police department. They have more. They have a lot more police than anyone else. But the other areas, we just rely on the county's sheriffs to help. So we don't, there's petty theft and things like that. But the lifestyle here in general is just so very secure, very comfortable, and very close knit. People taking care of each other. And they may be because we have so many military families, and the military.
yeah, it is. It's kind of like
The military is like a special family to
yeah.
begin with. So there's a lot
Yeah.
of camaraderie. There's a lot of looking out for your neighbor and looking out for your friends. And so it carries over, and it happens. That's what the Panhandle is really like. It's very just laid back.
Yeah, I always enjoyed it when I went. Now she's in Colorado Springs, so
Oh, okay.
no,
Well,
please
then you
go
can go
down.
ski. Yeah, well, that's a change from Hawaii, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. So, and I actually got to talk to an agent from Colorado Springs. So
Oh, did you?
I
Yeah,
love
to
our
help her.
relocation group. Now, are you part of KW military also? So
I am. I'm just a KW. Yeah, as retired
yeah.
military, of course.
I do love that little group too, because again, I think because most of us are military background or we're military spouses,
We
it's
stay
a
connected.
knit little
Yeah.
group. And I love that. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us
Well,
about
thank you.
yeah, I just love hearing about it. And I don't know, markets go up and down. I just feel like we're down just like you. So we have nowhere to go but up, right?
Right.
So,
That's what we're hoping. Well,
I
and
know.
Gary Keller has said, we're on a downward trend for the next, year or two, and then 2 to 3 years, we're going to see the upward trend.
Yeah,
So we just
it
got to
has to go back
double
up.
down and triple down and make it happen. Exactly.
Yeah, we just have to hang on. But all right, it was so great talking with you. If you
Likewise.
are thinking of investing, buying, or are you moving to the area, I would love to connect you with Vicky. If you have any questions,
Please.
reach out. This has been Kina.
Happy to help.
Yes. And this has been Real Talk About Real Estate. See you later.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thanks again.